Okay, I think we're good to go. Oh, okay. Mary, we're live.
Woo!
Woo! Hello, everybody.
Hello, world.
I had that adjusted earlier.
How goes it?
With it.
Should I start talking?
If you want to, yeah, go for it.
Yeah, tell us how you're doing, Mary. How are you doing? How's your life?
I'm doing alright. I'm really tired today, but I thought I was somewhat productive, so that's good, because I've been not productive the past couple days. So, yeah, doing things. I picked some chamomile to dry today, so hopefully soon we'll have some chamomile tea. Yeah, how are you doing, Amelia?
Doing good. Just today, I randomly decided to paint, and that was a good decision. Yeah, that's about where I'm at.
Alright. That's fun.
What about David? Is he in existence over there?
What am I talking about?
Your life, your dreams.
Oh, I don't have a whole lot in that department. I'm just trying to get these cameras to look nice for a second.
Little dreams count too. While he's doing that, I guess we can talk about our plan for today.
Yeah, absolutely.
So today is our episode on guerrilla gardening. Brief definition of guerrilla gardening: it's basically gardening in places that aren't necessarily like your lawn, and so it's more like public spaces. It's maybe a bit like, maybe it's not like the most legal thing ever, but
that was the one part we were supposed to leave out.
What?
That was the one part we were supposed to leave out.
It's like the Robin Hood of gardening. We're like spreading the goodness the world needs, but not the goodness the world wants. Okay. Mary, I feel like you might have a better definition.
Alright, there we go.
Well, leaving the certain L word out of it, or I word, depending on how you like.
Oh, I thought you were talking about lesbian.
Yeah, those lesbian plants. I think that guerrilla gardening is about creating like little pockets of gardens in different locations. So especially when you think about like wildflower and wildlife habitats and pollinator habitats, it's instead of seeing, a swath of grass and houses for miles and miles, maybe we could have a system where we at least have little pockets and little areas for pollinators to live and flourish and have healthy lives. So, yeah, but it is also kind of tends to lean towards spaces that aren't your own home, because of course everyone has a wonderful wildflower garden at their house and it's perfect.
Absolutely.
So, it's other spaces, probably mostly public spaces, looking for, like, we guerrilla gardened a bunch of sunflowers, which will probably go to that area, but somebody went and mowed the other day, so like thinking about that, of finding places that are left alone enough to where you can grow without disturbance and you could not be mowed down, but yeah, still in different locations, and preferably where people will see it, but that doesn't necessarily have to be the case.
Yeah. And some of the like target goals of guerrilla gardening are like spreading native seeds to places that don't have native plants so that we can have more biodiversity in those areas. Also, I think a big thing about guerrilla gardening is with like lots of roads and parking lots and things that we put, even if we do have really awesome native areas, there's a lot of fragmentation, and so guerrilla gardening can be a way to spread seeds that like without the giant parking lot, would have made it to that other spot, but because we've made it more difficult, those plants aren't getting where they used to get. And so we can help them out.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think Amelia is going to talk for a bit, and then we're going to do this. We're going to make some seed bombs, which I made some seed bombs ahead of time, and then we're going to go out into the world and plant them. So I think that, are we good for Amelia to start?
Yeah, Amelia wants to go onto her spot. Absolutely. You ready, Amelia?
I'm ready. So my bit today is about gathering seeds out in the great wide world. And so I'm out and I'm at a park and we're gonna gather some seeds. I'm gonna say a few words before I get going just because it's super windy and I thought it might help if you can hear the main points before it's like So we're going to be looking for native plants, and so native plants are ones that have always grown here. They have cool native pollinators that they're friends with, and they're really great to be planting at your house or to be spreading biodiversity. And so our goal is to, one, go find an area that looks like it has lots of cool plants in it, and then we're going to find plants that we think are pretty or that we think look like they could serve a good purpose for us, and then we're going to identify those plants so that we can learn if they're native or not, and then lastly we're going to talk about how to actually harvest the seeds. So let's get going. Da-da-da! Alright. So once my camera swaps around, I can just give you a word picture in the meantime, I guess. I'm out here at this park. Can you see anything on your end?
No, we can't. It may have dropped you.
Oh, bummer. Yeah, it shows that my camera just went black. Oh, there we go. Boom, rocking and rolling. Alright, so I'm out here at this park, and as you can see, no! Try this again. I'm out here at this park. There we go. And as you can see, there's this area where it's kind of mowed, and then there's this area where they've kind of let it grow. And that area where they've kind of let it grow is where we're gonna go looking for some plants. Alright, so here we are in the middle of kind of where it's kind of grassier, and as you can see we've got lots of little different types of plants here. Over here we've got some flowers. Boom, 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 boom. So we've got our first criteria. We have a place with lots of plants. And so now we're going to look for some pretty plants that we like, or maybe some plants that look like they'd be cool in a garden area. And so the one I picked out is over here. It's got this little purple on it. I don't know if you can see that. They're not quite in bloom yet. Boom, boom, boom. But I think they're pretty. And so the next step is to identify. We need to figure out what this is, because if it's an invasive species, we don't want to be helping it out. Invasive species can be quite hurtful, so we want to make sure, if we're going to be kind of propagating it, that it is a plant that's native to this area. And the easiest way to identify plants, as I have found, is to take a photo on your phone, and then if you have an Android, go to Google Lens, and if you just use the Google Lens app, it will tell you what it is. If you don't have Android, I think you can still use Google Lens. And I would strongly recommend it because it takes like 2 minutes. And then once you know what it is, you just spend a couple minutes on Wikipedia. It'll tell you kind of what type of plant it is, and then it'll tell you where it's native to. And it'll say, this is native to the Great Plains of Central America, or Central United States. There we go. And you can be like, yay, that's where we're at. So after you know it's native, it's time to gather some seeds if you want it. The problem is when things are blooming and they're pretty and they're catching your eye and they're really easy to identify, it's really like that's not the time where seeds are. Like there's no seeds on this plant yet. When it's seed time, they look more like this thing. It's dead, there's no leaves on it, it's kind of shriveled, and it'd be a lot harder to identify. Plants usually get like this in the early fall, late summertime, and so it's a little too early. So what we have to do is we have to go out now and find pretty plants and kind of figure out what they are and then make a mental note so that we can come back later in the season when they do start producing those seeds. Because right now, as you can see on this little coneflower, like the seeds, they're just not quite ready yet. And you'll kind of know that they're ready when they'll usually just kind of like fall off the seed head really easily. They'll be dry, they'll be darker in color, and then you can do whatever you want. Ta-da. So that's the quick and dirty on how to get seeds out in wherever. You can also do this with more mowed areas. There's some plants, especially a lot of clovers, that'll grow in those areas, and so you don't even need like a place like this. Like this works best. But you can do it even at like the Manhattan City Park if you'd like, or back alleys or roadside ditches, wherever there's plants.
I'm assuming that means you want to go back to our camera view.
Correct. That's all I had.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Amelia.
No problem.
Okay.
Ba-ding.
All right. You're good to go. All right. We're up.
Okay, hello everybody. We're back to here. So, once you've collected those seeds, or in our case, gone and purchased seeds, from native plants, you can just directly sow them, and do them in anywhere. But one fun way and kind of makes it easier, especially for guerrilla gardening, is to make seed bombs, which are basically just almost like, these look like cookies, but they're mud, so don't eat them. But
can you eat these?
yeah, you can if you want to, but they don't smell very good, so I don't know.
I mean, yeah, this stuff didn't smell good when I was pulling it out of the ground earlier today, so.
Yeah, I don't understand why mud either smells so bad sometimes, but
It's got, okay, so the mud down there where I dug it out has all the rain, like the drainage and runoff.
oh, so it's anaerobic?
I don't know if it's anaerobic. All I know is that there's a crap ton of stuff in it technically, and it breaks down, and this black layer is like just completely on top of all of it. It is nasty. But
Okay, so
that's really good for growing, actually.
Yeah, that's what we're going to use. So seed bombs are kind of like a fun and easy way. That way you can kind of just like you can throw them places. They're really easy to store or like take them with you. So that is what we're going to be making. I made a whole tray earlier and some earlier also. So what this is a mixture of 5 parts clay, which we got outside, 3 parts compost, and then 1 part seeds, wildflower seeds that I kind of just sprinkled in here. So basically the clay is kind of there to keep it together, and the compost is there to give the seeds a little bit of starting out nutrients, especially if you're guerrilla gardening in like pretty unfertile random spots. There might not be a lot of nutrients there for the plants, so giving them a little boost is definitely a good idea. And then this is just a wildflower mix. I'd like to believe that all these plants are native, but I kind of just got this at the store. But that's definitely something that you want to check, or at least go for. So yeah, don't follow my example. No, but I think it'll be okay, especially with how like there's not a lot here. But our clay was already moist, because as David said, he just got it out of the ground earlier. And if you're going, you can even use like dry clay, like even like terracotta dry clay stuff, things like that for seed bombs, and mix it together. But you are going to need some water to get it to not coagulate.
Yeah, I mean, coagulate's good. Yeah, compact and all that kind of stuff. Just to stick. That clay's got to be a little wet to stick together.
Yeah. And then you kind of want to like mix it up with the compost. So the compost is incorporated and the seeds are also incorporated into that. You could also layer it. I know I've made layered seed bombs before, but I don't really remember specifically what the layers are, so you have to Google that because my memory is failing me. But once you have the clay, the compost, and the seeds all kind of mixed together, I will say you want to be delicate with the seeds. So I kind of like sprinkle them on top and then kind of like mold the clay and compost around them. But you don't want to crush the seeds, you just kind of want to create a space for them. And I would also say that I think you can store these, but the cool thing about seed bombs and trying to sow seeds is that this is going to create a perfect moist environment for these seeds to germinate because of the water and because of the soil already around the seeds. So the first thing in order to get a seed to germinate is that the seed coat needs to be saturated with water. So having a moist, I know people hate that word, but I'm going to say it. Moist environment is what's going to make these seeds germinate, especially because sometimes it's difficult to get wildflower seeds to germinate and things like that, especially in competitive environments. Do you have a lot of the seeds?
I do, yeah. I was reading all the different seeds on the back, and I would say most of them are probably not local.
Yeah, yeah.
I would hope, though, the company selling it around here is not selling us an invasive species. I assume there's probably actually a law against that. Selling because one of them's from Iceland, it says.
What?
Yeah, it's in some Iceland poppy, so I imagine that would be very illegal if it was an invasive species to sell in a blend here. So I think you can probably get away with doing this without too much issue.
Yeah, I think that would be okay, especially in small amounts. But also, hopefully, you'll go back to the locations you did sow the seeds, and if you ever notice, those Iceland poppies sure are really taking over, then pull them out, get rid of them. That is certainly doable.
How's it going? It's Sly T. If I said that correctly, I don't know, honestly.
So, I think that we'll just make a couple more, and then we'll head out.
Anyone in chat, are they a fan of gardening or just a fan of wildflowers in general? I know a lot of people just going on a road trip honestly the best damn thing about going on a road trip is staring out the window and just looking at all the shit that goes by.
Hey man, when I was on the way to Colorado last week, I saw a coyote and a prairie dog just like on the side of the highway. And not at the same time.
Okay.
Not at the same time. But I saw a prairie dog like come out of its hole and then a coyote like run across a field. It was pretty magical.
Alright, that sounds fun.
They were pretty far away from each other though, so I'm sure the prairie dog, it was like an hour apart, probably at least.
Oh, okay.
So the prairie dog is safe.
Honestly, the prairie dog could die for all that. Those suckers are just terrible. They destroy fields. They're a general nuisance.
But they're so cute.
Oh God, no, they're not. They're loud little annoying bastards.
That's cute.
How is that cute?
Because it just is. They
My
just.
goodness.
Hold that over very strongly.
Okay. Next, you're gonna tell me chipmunks are cute too. Okay, that was just a bait. I don't think anybody could not find chipmunks cute.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
They are annoying as hell when they run in front of you and then get in your way. You're like trying not to stomp them with your boots. But beyond that, you must not have been hiking too much in Colorado. Well, I mean, you did a little bit, but.
Yeah, no, we didn't hike the whole time. A story for another time.
That was not meant that way.
No, it's okay. If anyone's interested in Mary's Colorado trip time, it was a lot. It was wild. I'll go get the other tray because it's been drying in the sun.
Okay, yeah. In the meantime, I'm gonna try and set up the other camera so we can go mobile.
So these are the finished cookies. These have been drying on the sun for like, I don't know, maybe like 45 minutes. But they've just kind of like hardened up, so they're a little bit more transportable now. I think if you're going to plant them immediately like we are, like yeah, having them solidify is good, but you don't want to necessarily have them fully dry when you want the seeds to germinate. So yeah, these we will try, and then we have these other ones which is more moist. Yeah, maybe we could do a comparison.
A comparison?
Between how these ones are and how these ones are.
Oh, okay. All I know is I made some chonkers. They're huge compared to yours.
I think that they progressively got bigger as I kept doing them. I started out really small, and then they just sort of went.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna switch it over to the newest camera angle. Fun times, fun times. All right. Okay. Yeah. Actually, don't want to move the audio over just yet. No. Cool. Cool.
So I think that there's a spot, if you're okay with it, we might just walk across the street because there's been some construction right there and there's a lot of like tilled up, probably destroyed soil, and they'll probably cover it with something, but I think that, you know, just showing it as an example of like, this is the sort of place that you could, you know, Guerrilla garden, instead of like new construction sites. Depending on what it is, like they might be planning on covering it, but I don't think it's a bad idea to like try to go and plant some wildflower seeds there while you can. So I think that's one idea, and then we're going to go to a nature trail nearby and then probably throw some in there. And yeah, I think that's the only ideas I a lot of native species. It's pretty good. But I feel like nature trails are one of those things where it's like if you plant some seeds, people aren't gonna like come after you. Generally they're pretty like wild spaces. I know that this area in particular, I have multiple times gone and planted things there. So, yeah.
Alright, yeah, absolutely. Sorry, I'm just mucking about with this real quick still. Yeah, alright, camera's gonna get a little bit wobbly for a second. Sorry, everyone. Okay, there's that. Okay, I'm gonna try and get the audio over to the other one. So there's that.
I harvested my kombucha today, and it had been in there for like probably like a month, like way longer than it should have been. But I was like, no, I like strong kombucha. We should leave it in there. And so I took a sip of it when I harvested it earlier, and I was like, it's very vinegary, but very good. So I put in some. We had some leftover of the tea that we were going to replenish it with. So I poured some of that in there to try to dilute it.
It's not working like I hoped it would. Oh, that might be why it doesn't work. I'm an idiot. Okay. Here we go. It's more like what didn't I, which was turning the audio.
I see. So nobody heard you the whole time I was talking about kombucha?
No, everyone heard you. I still had the center mic on.
Okay, awesome.
So we can pick Mark.
Let me just do one quick. Let me double check. Go ahead and talk to the camera for me real quick. And then.
Hello, it's me. I'm talking into the camera. I'm going to show off my screen to you back. I carried around the other one. It's a Michael Kors bag. I've carried around twice. Sometimes I've been uncomfortable with how, like, I don't know, it doesn't fit me, you know.
I get you. Yeah. All right. We are ready to go.
Yeah.
Okay. Will and everyone watching right now, none of the equipment we use is specifically designed for mobile Skyping and streaming, so it's quite likely there's going to be some lag.
If you don't like it, log off now.
All right, Mary, just if we do talk, I'll try and have the camera pointed at you, and also talk a little louder.
Yeah, I'm gonna put one of these trees in here, and then I think that we'll walk across the street. Another thing is, if you're wanting to plant some places, but it's like cut grass and stuff, generally trying to pull up the grass or another plant is a good idea just to reduce competition, because like grass is always going to outcompete the wildflowers. So it's great and room to grow, and it's okay, it's a good idea. And don't jaywalk.
Well, no, jaywalking is totally fine.
I mean, it is, though. You can't and don't jaywalk.
Well, no.
This is like one place that I thought might be a good idea. It's clearly, I mean, this is going to be horrendously compacted. I mean, clearly they were driving some heavy machinery on it. But nevertheless, oh wow, there's a baby bird. Do you see it? It's so baby. It's the most baby.
I told you that this stuff is really like high quality crap.
Yeah. So these chickens are growing. And if you're like social distance out of your car. Oh, that one broke apart.
It'll be fine, yeah.
But I'm just gonna drop a few in there. Oh, the clam corner. So sad.
Wait, what's Lamb's Corner?
This one. That's probably a better one. All of this. It's an edible weed.
Okay, this stuff.
Really great.
Well, it's already gonna die, so I'm gonna.
Might as well eat it.
Okay.
I don't know how it's really good, isn't it?
That's surprisingly like lettuce. That's actually really good. Wow.
We have a bunch in our house that we just pick and make salads out of it.
Yeah. Very nice.
That's some good pallets.
No, the last thing we need is more pallets.
I want them. Look, I want that.
Not on stream, Mary. Not on stream.
I don't know if they're gonna throw it away. I don't know. That's like that is tomato paste.
Yeah. I don't know if we've ever shown the outside, but this is our glorious ECM building. So, yeah, it's nothing fancy, but it gets the job done. So, I like it. Got apartments upstairs, a nice main floor, and then a good old basement. Gotta have that in good old Tornado Alley. Oh yeah. Yeah. So when they actually built the place, they put a couple of plum trees in, and these suckers have just gone to town every year since I've been living here. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm hoping to harvest a lot of the berries.
Oh yeah. I don't really know if you can see the berries all that well. Well, no, there you go. Yeah. All right, cool. I guess we'll get moving. Okay. Now, when we're walking around, the lag probably isn't so bad. But when we get moving, that's when it's going to get real good. Or real bad, I should say.
Should I put this on your lap? Out the window.
Okay.
Is that going to be okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Just trying to juggle a stream rig and a camera.
Oh, man.
I
have to
know.
drive through all that traffic to go where I want to go. So I should go not there.
Are we talking about linear trail?
Yeah. By the hotel.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say if we want to go somewhere else first and then come back for linear trail, maybe after traffic's gone down a little bit.
Yeah. Maybe we should just drive somewhere. See if there's a good spot.
Yeah.
I guess we could drive around campus. Is that a bad idea?
If you really want to, I think we can do
I
that.
think we should. It's gonna start beeping at you real hard if you don't.
Oh,
use your
that's
seatbelt.
right.
My but also sometimes I have like my backpack on the passenger seat and it's like how This is not a small child.
Oh yeah. Well, I've never understood like the weight detection systems in these cars or in these vehicles. It always seems like 10 pounds. And it's like, what person weighs 10 pounds?
I put my baby in the front seat.
Yeah, there you go.
Propped him up.
I mean, that head-on collision, you gotta launch him.
Oh my gosh.
I know, it's a bad, that's the joke.
That's a bad joke.
Yeah, okay. And actually, there's like a couple spots on campus where like there's overgrowth, especially around here. We want to like go down into the areas where they don't really like mow and they just kind of let it grow. You want to if you wanted to do campus.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, we can do campus.
From here?
I'm gonna guess they're not gonna worry about us parking here for now.
No, it's after 5 p.m. anyways.
Oh, is that the rule? After 5 p.m.?
Yeah, that's why, I mean, literally you can do whatever you want after 5 p.m.
Oh, okay.
I never bought a parking pass, but sometimes I would park in here at night.
See, I was always too paranoid that I was gonna get towed because I didn't want to pay the stupid money.
I think that's really fair, but
Well, K-State is just really, really aggressive in how they enforce their parking policies. It's not a cheap fine. Not a cheap fine at all.
that's hide my purse.
That's a good plan. I'll take that.
Really, I think that we should go over by the library.
We can absolutely do that too, yeah.
I think that that's a good idea because there's a lot of construction over there. And I don't know where you're thinking.
It may not have been this spot exactly, but actually, I really thought it was around here. Maybe I'm just. Yeah.
But
Yeah, for those of you who have never been here, welcome to the illustrious Kansas State University. It's a good campus, just not remarkable, let's put it that way.
I actually really like it. We got clear soil. Not a whole lot of live. For probably one purpose. I don't know if they sprayed it or something.
I'm just waiting for one of the teachers to pop out of their windows and start yelling, "Get off my lawn, you damn kids."
It looks like horse strategy. So,
I heard a door close in there.
it's a biology building, right?
Oh yeah. I want to say maybe it's like in the front, over in front of the engineering building. You've only got one left. Oh, you got a couple. Okay.
We're in the car.
Honestly, I don't know. It's not that hot. I definitely doesn't feel like 96. So I feel like Amelia's getting the short end of the heat stick today.
Yeah, I thought this was not, but it was really warm earlier.
That's true.
Driving around in my car, I was like sweating up the storm.
Yeah. It was not comfortable planting those plants today. But hey, Hopefully I'll have a big old hosta growing in front of ECM next year.
Are we getting in the car or are we going elsewhere?
Let's try the front of the engineering building over there. I swear there's a place where it's just all overgrown and they just kind of give up because it's like a runoff area.
I think that that's a very purposeful rain garden.
Well, let's throw some stuff in there then.
Okay. Are you talking about the place where it's going to the basement?
Maybe. We'll see. You know, can't hurt to look.
Yeah, that might be fun. Anyway, we'll look. And if it is what I think, then we can just have a discussion about rain.
Look, all I said is I'm trying to help. I don't know if I'm actually helpful.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I don't know if we're talking about this in the area.
Honestly, I don't know. What I really would know is I want to snag some of these tiger lilies. Yeah. There's like a specific coloration that my mother has. They literally have spots on them.
You know they're edible?
They are?
Yeah.
Well, good. If we ever go down, we've got literally half a meal's worth of flowers out in the front.
Yeah.
That's something.
Good fancy salad accent.
Well, now I know how to dress something fancy on the stream.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, I really need to pick us up some fancy dishes for the RFL streams.
Ooh.
Just something to spice up those camera views at the end.
Not a bad idea.
ECM's dishes are practical, but they aren't quite, they don't pop.
They are made for feeding a lot of people.
That is very true. Well, Amelia, what do you think? Stream looks so far so good?
All right, did she comment?
She's in the chat. And I might have been totally wrong about this area. I know I walked by something that had like a really nice drop area. Okay. Cool.
Do you want to turn back or what do you think?
I don't know. Is this what you were talking about?
Yeah, all down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a rain garden to try to control water flow and prevent flooding. To put in like an artificial marsh with species that are really good at having their feet wet. Those coneflowers.
So what you're telling me is I need to take ideas from this garden for out in front of ECM.
Yeah, so if it floods, yes.
Okay.
But yeah, stuff like this is actually really great. I think that this is kind of in line. We have a couple green roofs on campus, which are also designed to prevent flooding in our concrete-filled world. Yeah, there's a lot of iris. I think they have juncus grass or other grass that's good at having its feet wet. Because basically the roots of the plants will help draw the water down and help prevent erosion and the sediment movement of water, or the movement of sediment within water.
Nice.
So yeah, it's actually really cool. This area is all the ones on campus. The rest of them are kind of blue, except for there's one marsh. It's like a wildflower, I think pollinator habitat orange.
Very cool. Very cool.
So our campus is making some effort. There's a lot of people who are really into green infrastructure and flood control, and we have a biological systems engineering program, and they do a lot of stuff like that, bioremediation, and water.
Nice.
Yeah. I did take hydro. So we're
Basically. Well, more of an expert than me. That's not saying much, but saying something.
Going to the library or new construction. I mean, I haven't been on campus in 6 months, so yeah, I don't know. Actually, I think I went like one time to meet a Sweeney for lunch, and then the world ended. So
yeah, fun times. But yeah, actually, I think from what I heard, they're doing well on Hale. I think they have the first and the second floor opened up.
oh, I feel the second floor is open.
It's open, but I'm not sure if they're finished with it yet, or at least that's what I knew 3 or 4 months ago. It may have changed a lot since then.
Oh, is that a monarch?
I don't think we can catch butter. Well, let's see. Sneaky on it. Well,
Inspirational.
I don't know if anybody can see that at all.
That's sad how monarchs, but now every time I see them, I feel like I'm being blessed. It should be commonplace.
They really should be, actually. You're right. It is just incredible, the life cycle of monarch butterfly. Were we going to go for Hale or no?
I mean, I thought that would be perfect.
Oh, okay. Oh, no, it's fine. I just don't know if I walked by it every day. It doesn't mean I know where to park to get into it.
Oh, I'm just going to park in the roundabout.
Oh, that's fair. Oh, that's absolutely smart. Okay, I know exactly what you're talking about. Gonna do this. There we go. You probably saw a majority of my hand there. Yep, and my face.
It is definitely toasty still.
Oh, God, yeah. I almost want to go down to the Dillons over West Loop and get some of those ices or whatever they're called. They do like shaved ice over there.
What? At the West Loop Dillons?
Yeah, there's a little spot over there on like next to Anderson.
Oh, okay. You're not. I thought you meant in Dillons.
No.
I've never been there. We should go after the stream.
Yeah, sounds good.
Sounds so good. Wow, Tesla. Wow.
I mean, Teslas aren't that expensive. You can get a couple year used one for like 20 grand. I see the rest of campus here.
That'd be embarrassing if I got pulled up for speeding on the stream. No, the road is closed.
Oh yeah, I probably should. I didn't realize you were going to go this way.
That's okay. Can we go like over and up the? That's a do not enter.
I don't know. I think, yeah.
It's is it closed over there too? It's making sketchy.
You can get through. I did once. I was trying to get to the recycling center over there. It's still closed, by the way.
That makes sense. Howie's is open at this point, though.
Okay.
I just need to go recycle. Howie's.
I need to get rid of all of that glass recycling. lose my phone here.
Hi.
Yeah. Well, we're just gonna have to see how it works.
That's weird. Can I get down out of there?
Oh shit.
We might have set ourselves up for failure.
I think I may have led you astray.
Oh my god.
No.
Oh my god.
Hey, oh my! Actually, that road does look nice.
Well, maybe people at Smirkweight can cross the street without dying. Okay, well, let's go the other way, I guess.
It's a good getting lost kind of stream. And it looks like they're digging the whole thing out, which, you know, honestly, a lot of the roads here in Manhattan really need. They certainly don't need what they did to Anderson over by West Loop. That really thin line, that patch. Ugh. That is the worst type of road to put in town because you know it's low quality. You know it's going to put divots in it or ruts in it in 5 years. That did not look like a good road to me. Are we still going for Hale or are we going to go somewhere else?
I'm not sure. I was thinking Hale, but it is what it is.
Indeed.
Stupid construction everywhere. That's the problem with going to the other place too, is that there's a bunch of construction and it would take like we just sit in the car. Because I drove by there today and I did just sit in the car.
I mean, we could go to the top of Manhattan Hill and kind of toss around. Those would also probably have the most chance of lasting.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I say that we go to the library and do that and then go on to there.
Okay. Sounds like a plan to me. Glad I'm wearing this seatbelt. Let's chat with ourselves for a minute. Oh, goodness gracious.
If anybody, is your phone dying, or like, could we ask if anybody has any questions?
No, we can ask. It's not totally dead.
Okay.
6%, so it's gonna die soon, but we can ask. So yeah, if anybody has any questions in the chat, There's the 5% warning.
Oh dear, you jinxed it.
No, but I mean, if anybody has any questions about guerrilla gardening or, why we're doing this or, just any kind of questions, feel free to ask, please.
We're gonna get every red light.
That's pretty standard. It's Manhattan after all.
Oh man, all the bean pods are getting really big on those trees. Look really visible.
Oh yeah, it looks like they had a ton of stuff down there last weekend. Just an absolute ton of stuff. I really wanted to actually go and check it out, but
In the parking lot?
yeah, you remember all that crap?
I don't know what it was.
Okay. Yeah, I don't either.
The heck knows.
I need to figure out where the heck I get me some of those pink daylilies right there. You don't have.
Wow, Rhode Island, you never see them. I feel like their windows were down and they could.
No, they could not. He certainly didn't even flinch.
Does anybody know where that quote's from?
Rhode Island. I honestly don't know where that quote's
You
from.
never see those. It's from Cat in the Hat, the live action with Michael Murray, or what's his name?
Michael Myers.
Michael Myers. I was thinking Bill Murray and him at the same time. Yeah, they're like getting to cracks and it's like Rhode Island. You never see those. And it's true. I don't know. I've never seen the place again unless is Rhode Island even real? I don't know. Seems questionable to me. That's a quote from Tarzan. Looks questionable to me.
Indeed. God, I just can't pull any quotes out of my butt right now. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Probably a good thing. Usually a good thing.
Yeah.
All right, Amelia, if you're watching, my phone's dead. So if anybody has any good questions in chat or anything like that, go ahead and text it to her, and then we'll answer on stream. But yeah, I can no longer watch chat.
It is how it is.
Indeed. Does your AC not work?
I mean, it'll blow air
So-
at you. So yeah, no, it doesn't.
Is your compressor broken, or do we just need to recharge it?
It's my compressor. I need to get a new one,
Oh, okay.
but I don't want to pay for it.
I don't blame you.
So when I have money, maybe if I donate enough plasma. I have a big bruise on my arm. You want to see it?
Oh, that sucks. Yeah, she got you good.
Me and David both donated plasma yesterday, and she like nicked, I guess, my vein while she was trying to put it in, and it was like, oh, this kind of hurts, but I think it's just the shock of it like putting the needle in, and then it was like, Michael, we don't get me. Yeah, right.
Sorry. We should flip a Yui. Because we got to turn it somewhere else.
Oh, it is earlier.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go through the loop over here.
There's a loop here?
There's a loop.
I did not know this.
So she like nicked the side of my vein, I guess, or something. I probably have internal bleeding, is what it is. But now my arm is bruised, which is okay. Like, it happened. I'm not like sitting here being like, you shouldn't donate plasma because I got a tiny bruise on my arm. But it did hurt when they started returning the blood. Sorry if anybody like hates conversations like this. I'm just feeling queasy right now. But
Blood is blood.
wait, can I not go up there?
That's technically a one-way. I mean, nobody's probably using it, so you can probably get away with it. It'll get us over here by the mathematics building, which isn't too far from Hale. Is this supposed to be a one-way? It's a one-way at one point, which is really weird. Maybe that's the one-way.
But I've seen people go up here.
Maybe I'm just wrong. That happens a lot.
Okay, yeah, this is close enough.
Good old Hale Library. Oh yeah. Oh god. Well, why did you have to yawn? Now I'm just yawning incessantly. I can't hear you. Yeah. Oh, I don't know that. I don't think that's AB3. How's it going? I mean, looks like you could throw some stuff over there, but let's talk about the wildlife coming out. Because people feed them.
Maybe on the other side.
Okay.
Let's just keep walking. Back in the olden days, we used to just like play environmental movies. They had movies on the lawn, and the environmental club would always at least get one. And then they would have a huge projector. People could come out on the lawn and watch movies.
That's cool.
It was a lot of fun.
Was it though? Is an environmental movie ever really that fun?
I mean, it was like fun in like an upsetting way. You know,
Fun.
it's okay to be upset sometimes.
Fun in an upsetting way.
Yeah.
Okay. I love that.
You like to do it? Anything either? walk around the rest of the perimeter of the building.
Why not?
And,
So I once had a run-in with a construction worker around the back of this building here, like where I don't know. There's another building. It's like maybe it's Eisenhower. I don't remember exactly.
the one on that side?
Yeah, just right there. It kind of
Willard?
creates a Willard then.
Yeah, Eisenhower's on that side.
Okay, then I guess it's Willard. And the whatever construction guys, whatever they were doing, they didn't block off the building well. They didn't block off like I wasn't supposed to walk through there. So yeah, like it wasn't blocked off like it is now. And so I started walking through, just thinking, all right, cool. Yeah. Well, no, that's good. But yeah, no, the guy just starts yelling at. I can't see him. And he just starts yelling at me like, "Hey, hey, hey!" Eventually, like enough times, and I'm just like, "What's up?" Because I just figured eventually it had to have been for me. And the dude's like, "Get out of here!" And I'm like, "Why?" And he goes, "I'm just like, why?" And he's just yelling at me to get out of there. Like he won't tell me why. And he goes, so he just starts yelling at me, "Are you dumb?" And I'm like, "No, but are you trying to yell something at me?" Like he eventually told me what he wanted, that it was blocked off because of construction. I was like, okay, great. You could have told me that. But like, yeah. Like the dude was standing on like a raised platform, like 20 feet off the ground, and had nothing better to do than to yell at me. He must have been having a real shit day.
Probably was.
It's like, holy crap.
I'm getting tired of figuring out things throwing in, so.
That's good. Throw some more. I mean, put the Guerrilla in Guerrilla gardening. There we go. I like it.
There, soil. Not really. I don't think I'll be successful, but hey, we found something.
Yeah, we're making it downstairs. Oh, right over. Not right over. This is why I don't play baseball. God landed real hard. Like it landed in grass and I just heard it go.
Nice red thing. It'll get red.
It'll get red. All right, that's fair.
Alright, so we're gonna go to the last spot and try to get rid of these. And yeah, that's the plan.
Cool beans. As you all can see, it's not the easiest to guerrilla garden in the middle of like the city, because I mean, if it's not paved over, it's chipped over, or it's an open grassy area where it's going to get mowed, or it's kind of this overgrown kind of area that you can see right behind Mary here real quick. There's just not a whole lot of great places for flowers to grow in the middle of the city.
Gotta cause that systemic change.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. Campus Creek Complex. Do they have a complex? Technically, yes.
I've never understood, like, what are those buildings? Like,
I have no idea.
who is in them? What do they do? Are they okay?
All I can tell you,
Rescue them?
it's complex. It's not an easy situation.
Oh, wait.
I'm full of bad jokes, just full of them. I love residential areas.
Wow, is that the outside? Because I couldn't tell. No, it's not.
Say no parking at any time, but you couldn't possibly tell.
It's a pretty bad sign. I'm supposed to listen to it.
Actually, the street that we're on, there's literally in like 1,000 feet worth of street. There's seven friggin' do not park on this side of the street signs. And people will literally park in front of the damn sign.
For the boys!
Okay.
Sorry for interrupting you.
No, that's fine. What does that even mean?
Probably something. I feel like Saturdays are for the boys. It's like for not to for people who don't like be hanging. No. We have reached every. Oh my gosh.
All right, I don't know if y'all can see this,
What the heck?
but they have it closed off up ahead.
I've never even seen that happen before.
So I guess we can't go to our last spot. Okay, we want to go somewhere else? I mean, we can also call it. That's okay.
There are any other good ideas? Places to go? I can't really think of anything. It might not be a bad idea to call it because it's almost 7:30.
Yeah, honestly, I'm kind of roasting in this car.
Yeah. I feel like Saturdays are for the boys is a slogan for people who don't like women. But I don't know. It just sounds like, oh, I couldn't hang out with my wife. I gotta go out with the boys. She's such a nag. That's what that sounds like to me.
I mean, I can definitely hear that coming from a guy who has that sign.
Yeah. But also just like it screams of Bush Light.
Absolutely, I agree 100%. Bush Light, Natterdays,
Yeah.
getting real fancy with the Jim Beam. Oh, you know they're having a good time. All while wondering why their lives feel like shit. I mean, I've sold alcohol to plenty of people who look exactly like that. The amount of people who have come into the liquor store lately and who have just absolutely looked like they hated themselves for being in there. And I'm just like, holy shit.
Okay.
You would think you'd be happy going and getting alcohol, but no, some people just look like it's the worst damn thing ever.
Sad. Oh man. Throw.
I would if I had them. We can park and throw real quick if you want.
No, it's okay. Maybe it's like grab some of them. I'm surprised I managed to not hit your head.
It was real close and I felt it. I felt it in the hair. All right, not too many of these left, actually. Look at this shit. Look at that Popeyes line. Like, Popeyes is not that good. Holy crap. That person is literally stopped in the road to pull into Popeyes. What the ever-loving hell?
They do got good biscuits, though. I like Popeyes. I mean, I can't really eat there that much anymore. It's like no meat or whatever. But,
Yeah, you and your vegetarianism.
but when I was like a youngin', whew,
People inherently like love to just ride in your blind spot. Just get over it. Just still deal with it. Like, you sped up, he sped up, you slowed down, he slowed down.
he loves it.
Oh no, they're actually still down there. All of those like containers. Don't know if you'll be able to see all those things. I have zero idea what that's all about. But they've been there for a couple weeks now.
And they have been there a while.
They were not packaged properly. They're soaked. Why not? No, I like his yard. I don't want to mess with him. He's a good guy. Oh, I could have pelted that squirrel. Oh my God, look at all those squirrels. Just want to hit them.
I think we can put some behind the bike rack.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, well, now you're just
I'm throwing them over
not
there.
even trying. Okay.
Oh, goodness gracious. Oh.
Ah!
Yep, that happened.
Thanks.
It's all good.
Okay, I'm gonna put some of these by the bike rack. Honestly, I'm gonna play a song where he said,
The issue is I'm gonna put like 3 to 4 inches of wood chips over all of this. Look, a better spot actually would be over here along this this fence, because I'm not gonna put much wood chip over here because it's basically already at level with the concrete. So if you want to see if they won't compete with the mint, that's also a thought. But right here, like all along this, you can absolutely try. So the idea, I guess, is when it rains, the ball will melt, essentially. Okay. That's it. Okay.
You're gonna want to cage those tomatoes pretty soon.
Do we have to?
You're gonna want to. They get real easy to do. I mean, you're free to live your life and do what you want.
I mean, they're not mine to cage, so. Oh God, ands. The only tomato plants I own here are the ones that are in buckets that are finally starting to thrive. If anybody was watching last week, these are bucket tomatoes. And this one on the right here is absolutely starting to flower even more. So we will definitely be getting some tomatoes out of this.
Awesome. love the air conditioning. It feels so good.
Really good times. Sure. I mean, yeah. So we have RF coming up this Thursday, Real Food Live.
Yeah, we are. And we're gonna make air, and I kind of forgot why, but something like that was super fun. So you know what? Um,
Next week is the Mediterranean frozen.
oh, that's right. That's right. So we're gonna frozen all Indian food. From last night live. So we are going to the freezer to test and see which ones hold up the best, which don't hold up. And just hang out and have a good time. So stay tuned and join us for that one. And yeah.
All right. Thanks for joining us today. I'm sorry it was kind of a shorter stream, but you know, can't beat a city government blocking off the road for no better reason than they could. And I'm being honest, there's no way I was gonna hike up. Gonna be a half a mile of that in that heat though. Yeah, no, we're not gonna happen. I mean, I'm for this for a reason.
Okay.
But yeah, all right, cool. Well, thanks for attending. Everyone have a good one.
See you later.